ask if anybody who has got any thoughts on the conversation. Al, I'm thinking at your level and dreaming that the way they play and Dom's U14 players play, they're playing in quotation marks and figuring it out. And to what degree, at what point do we start to structure where the structure overrides their figuring it out? You need the structure. And Al, your kid's growing up. This is going to be an experiment that you're going to be living long enough to see go through, but you won't coach them beyond this point. Once they go to another coach, I think if they learn to think with what you give them, they're going to be way ahead of the curve.
Well, and that's part of the intent with it, Wally, is that, because we have an opportunity, right, with half ice hockey and playing 4-on-4, it's a little bit of a different animal, with the young kids. So if we can teach them how to think and how to understand, how to defend space or what they should do in a certain situation, as opposed to telling them where to go and where to stand, then the next coach that gets them, if they have that understanding, hopefully they'll be able to apply that within whatever structure the coach has, right?
Yeah.
But every group of kids is different. And even this year, like we've put in a little bit more structure this year with the group of kids that we have than we did last year, because they just seem to need a little bit more structure. These kids are a little bit different. So we've done a few things differently. And when we started doing that, they really responded and started having a lot more success. But I also think, and I think about this a little bit too with ours, in some cases with the youth players, you're kind of coaching against the parents in some respects, because, we played a game last weekend, and, you hear the dad up in the stands talking to the kid who's playing defense, get back. And as soon as you hear that, then the kid goes and stands 50 feet away from where the play is. Right. And we don't want them to do that. Right. So it becomes tough for the parents to coach if they have no idea what position their kid is playing, and the kid is playing a role. I got another one in that same game, and it worked out. He scored the winning goal with like 10 seconds left, and the kids were, they went nuts, but he was standing, above the play, way above the play, because, I know that I've heard anyway that his parents are paying him to score goals, right? So, giving him a few bucks. So he's way up there waiting for that long pass, and it just happened to work out and won the game. So we've got some different elements to deal with, right? Especially with the really young kids, because the parents are kind of figuring it out, and that's a part of what we're doing too. But honestly, the way I'm looking at the games for these kids, it's the games are practice for game sense with the really little guys playing 4-on-4.
Rick Puttock, what have you got to say, Rick? You put your thumb up when Al made a comment there.
Well, a comment that got my attention was the one that if you can teach them the concepts and how to think, what to look for, how to make the decisions based on what they're seeing and hearing, they'll fit into pretty much any structure that they meet further up the line. I fully endorse that.